Shelley Jones. I'm a consultant pharmacist for neurosciences at King's College Hospital in London. I've been working in neurosciences for nearly 16 years at King's College Hospital, which is a tertiary referral centre for both neurology and neurosurgery. So it gives broad experience, and we get to see a broad range of people and a broad range of neurological conditions, which bring with that the challenges, but also the impacts you can have for people suffering with neurological conditions. I think dementia is very much like many neurological conditions. It's not measurable as a kind of you've got dementia, therefore. It's you've got dementia, and what does that mean for you? And where are you at in your dementia journey? What's still absolutely possible and right for your management? And what do we need to amend to help make things easier? So again, can't emphasize enough the importance of having a conversation with the person, also having a conversation with their carer or with their partner or whoever helps them with their medicines to get insight into anything that might be helpful. And it can be such simple things. It can be that it's not actually their dementia that is causing problems with their medicines. They might find that they can't recognize a label, or they can't read very well in the small print. And actually what you might find is they'd be a lot more compliant if you printed on a bigger label, or if you put it in a bottle that was easier to access, or they might just need a prompt, and they might need to set an alarm, and you can help them. And I think we all assume that as we grow older, we get less good with technology. I think, again, that's a poor assumption. Some younger people aren't interested in their smartphones. Some older people couldn't live without their smartphones. So it's about having a chat with them and what might work, how alarms might work to help them get their medicines on time, or how changing the packaging might help, changing the labelling, and working with them for, we've labelled your drug, it must be taken at 10 o'clock every day, but that person swims at 10 o'clock, so they stop swimming because they've been told they've got to take their medicine at a specific time. So actually working with them, seeing what would work best for them, bearing in mind how the medicine works and the importance of timing with it, but working that timing to work with the person and how it molds into their life, rather than rigidly telling them what they've got to do and making them move everything else around unnecessarily, if not needed. So I guess they're kind of some quick practical tips, and you'll get some really interesting questions. So we've done a few pilot studies around the place, chatting to people with neurodegenerative conditions and kind of asking them what would help with their medicines. And we always think it'll be like complex things like, can you change the dose of this, or can you change the timing? Can you change the combination of medicines I have? And we thought it was all going to be very complex. And actually, when you speak to them, it's more about, is it okay to put them in this little pot when I go out, so that I don't have to have the big bottle when I go out here? Or is it okay for me to store some of them up in my bedroom, because that's where I remember my nighttime ones, and to have some of them in the original container, and actually working with them and putting them in the right containers, making sure the labels are something they can read, helping them to recognize their medications. So if you keep changing the brand of a medication, what you then change is the color of the tablet. And if they're relying on the color and the shape of the tablet to help them to remember and manage their medicines, then if you change that color and shape, and you don't mention it to them, and you don't chat through how that changes the way they manage and what they need to think about, then that can be really, really unnerving, because that's how they manage. That's what they know about their medicines. And if you suddenly just swap it over and don't chat to them as you give it out, then that can be really, really difficult for them. We all know that there's huge shortages in the supply chains at the moment. So changing medicines is more common than it used to be, and changing brands and changing shape can be much more difficult to manage. But at the very minimum, we can have a conversation with people and say, so last time we gave you this, it was in this packet and it looked like this. This time, this is the same drug. but it looks different, and chat them through that and help them to manage just the real simple practical things. And it's not always about kind of how technical we can be. It's about the simple: how are they physically going to get their medicine out of the packet? How are they going to store it and carry it with them when they're doing their activities of daily life? And how's it practically going to work for them? And they will really appreciate you taking the time to ask the questions, and to help them manage that side of things, as well as the kind of response and efficacy side.